Hi everyone, today I'm here to tell you why I think that the 4-day school week is more beneficial than the 5-day school week and why schools should implement it more in their own districts. First of all, or overall, the school will save money, improve attitude and attendance if they switch from the 5-day to a 4-day school week. So my first point is the school is going to save money. Buses will not need to be sent out on Fridays, and so all the money that goes into the gas or diesel, fueling those ways of transportation to get students into school will be saved. And so overall that will add up over the course of the year, especially like during the winter when you have to have your buses run for however long before you even get to go out. That money will add up and that's money saved. My next point is the unnecessary staff that is at the school, or that isn't at the school on Fridays, my bad. Paraprofessionals, aides, cooks, whatever else. Those people don't need to be at the school on Friday when you have a 4-day week, and therefore the school will not have to pay them and they'll save money by that. And then my last way for the school to save money is through substitute teachers, and this was from Hewitt and Denny out of an article titled "The 4-Day School Week: An Impact on Student Academic Performance." So schools can save money because teachers will make appointments on Fridays, and when these teachers make appointments on Fridays, they will not need substitute teachers to come in and replace them, and therefore they will not be used as much. And that kind of brings me right into my next point about attendance. And also out of that same article by Hewitt and Denny, the day off allows for students and teachers to make business or medical appointments on that day off and not miss school. So those medical appointments apply for both students and teachers. Your students are going to be in the classroom more because whatever medical appointments they have can be made on that Friday instead of during the week. And same goes for the teachers. And also, in my discussion post this last week, somebody told me that they go to rodeos on Fridays and that she went to a 5-day school week, and her friend went to a 4-day school week. And they both went to those rodeos, and that her friend didn't miss school and she did, and she'd have to make up all that work. So that's just another benefit of the 4-day school week, is all of the stuff that happens on Fridays, or making your appointments happen on Friday so that way you don't miss a school. It's great. And so, and next I'm going to talk about kind of the attitude, student morale with the 4-day week. And according to Shoemaker, in his article titled "Effects of 4-Day School Undecided," he states, experts have documented increased morale and fewer disciplinary problems in the 4-day schools. And so I personally believe this to be because students are only here 4 days a week. They're happier. They don't have to be here 5. They'd rather be here for that extra half hour to an hour, depending on the schools you look at, than being here that whole extra day on Friday. It also allows them to have more free time for the weekend, whether they go on like maybe a family vacation, and so they come back happier on Monday, and it overall gives them a better week. And so that's it for the attitude thing. I just really think it helps overall. And I'm going to get into work time and professional development. And so according to an article from 2003 titled "4-Day School Week," Durr reported that teachers cover just as much or even more content in the 4-day week than under the traditional 5-day week. And I'd say this is true because with the 5-day week, your classes are shorter. And so when a teacher gets done with a lesson, they're less likely to move on to the next lesson because they don't have as much time, whether they only have like 10, maybe even 5 minutes left, they're not going to move on. With the 5-day school week, you have more time for each class period, and that allows for the teacher to get done with a lesson and even start the next one or get done with the next one. And that may cause the student to not get as much work time, but that's why they have Fridays. On Fridays, students can come in and get help from teachers or peers. I personally help students at our own school on Fridays if they need help, and some students may be afraid to ask teachers for help, so instead they just come and ask me, and peer peer learning, I think, is a huge thing, and it helps students out a lot. Especially because students, when they interact with each other, they kind of speak that same language, and they have that same vernacular that allows them to teach them better, or teach them in a more understandable way. And next, I have for professional development, the Fridays, teachers will come in and they'll have their professional development days where they have people come in and talk about new things. Today we just had one at Summit about Moby Max, and so that's when those happen, are on those Fridays. Another benefit to the 4-day week. Alright, and then my last thing is basically why people don't want to switch to the 4-day week. And that's because they're afraid that the student achievement is not going to be as high because they're not in the classroom as much, because they're not in there for that 5th day. So I have 3 studies that I found that all say that they did not have a negative impact, or that it actually improved their student achievement. And so my first one is from Hewitt and Denny again, and they did a study in Colorado with the 4-day school week, and they found that there was no negative impact on student achievement. My next one is done by Yarbrough and Gilman, and they found that when a switches to a 4-day school, when a school switches to a 4-day school week, its test scores improved based on the comprehensive test of basic skills. And they wrote about that study in their article titled From 5 Days to 4. And my last study is all the way back from 1983 in an article called Summary Report of the 4-Day School Week in New Mexico. The author, McCoy, found that student achievement from 10 New Mexico school districts on the 4-day school week was not negatively affected. Instead, many school districts reported gains. So my overall thinking of the subject is that if there's no negative impact on student achievement, why not save money and have the better student morale in your school? It overall will help, I believe, because you're going to have those students that are more willing to participate in the school. They're going to be happier, and it's going to allow for more things to be done in your time at school. Thank you.